Hi guys, here's our Chapter 6 test. Listen carefully as I go through this and wish you the very best of luck. Make sure that you put your answers over here in the right in the blanks. I'd maybe get another sheet of paper to show my work on too. Okay? So without further ado, here we go. Number 1 and 2. We want you to list all pairs of angles and sides. So all you gotta do is look at the letters. That's all we got to do. We don't need a picture. So for example, I'm going to get you started here. The first side would be UV. So I'm going to say U. Oops, that's terrible. And let's change colors. I would say UV is similar to, now he was the first two letters here. So who's the first two over here? Well, it's AB. So those sides would match up. So that's the first two sides, okay? Now you would just need to figure out the other two sets of sides, but just go in order of the letters. So then you'd have VW and who. Who's the other one that matches up on the other side? And then you would have WU and what other side over here. Now that's how we do the sides. To list the angles, that's even easier. Again, we just go by letters. So who's in the first spot here? It's U. Who's in the first spot over here? It's A. So I'm going to say angle U and angle A. Alright. Now you would need to do the other two sets. Okay. And number 1 here also, that's exactly how you're going to do number 2 over here on the other side. Okay? Just match up the sides and the angles. Okay? So I'm going to erase this out of the way so I can do number 3 though with you. Okay, 3 and 4, they want us to find the value of y. So we just need to make a proportion. Okay, so here's y. Who's he correspond with in the other triangle? It's 2. So we're going to say y over 2 is equal to whatever what. So pick 2 more sides from these 2 triangles. But remember, I went big triangle to little triangle. So you need to go big triangle over little triangle when you set up your next proportion. And then cross multiply and solve. Same way with number 4. Here is y right here, kind of hard to see. So it's going to be y, big triangle, over 8, little triangle. So you need to set up the rest of the proportion using one of these 2 sides from the big triangle over one of these 2 sides for the little triangle. So little or big over little here, cross multiply and solve. Okay, number 5 and 6. They give you 2 shapes, figure 1 and figure 2. Now these are the coordinates for the first shape. Here's the coordinates for the second shape. You need to plot these on the graph. Give Mr. Paxson some graph paper for you. But plot these and connect the dots. Plot these and connect the dots. And then tell us how did they move from figure 1 to figure 2? Like, how did the shape move? Okay. Was it, and I'm going to put them over here to the side. Your choices are translation, where we just slide the object, like you're just pushing it across the graph. Was it a reflection, where it's just flipped? Almost spelled that right. Or is it a rotation, where it's turned? Okay. Those are your three choices for 5 and 6, but you need to plot these points on the graph, okay? And then just take a look at your pictures and see how it moved. Which one of these describes that movement? Seven and 8, we got to determine whether or not these are similar polygons. So to do that, you just got to check the scale factor for each shape. So take corresponding sides, like 10 over 25, reduce the fraction in your calculator, and make sure that you get the same fraction for 10 over 25 as you would for 6 over 15 maybe. If they're the same, then they're similar. If they're not the same, they're not similar. And you got to check all the sides. Now, rectangle, you just need to check the length and the width. The triangle, though, I would check all three sides. And just to give you a little hint, I'll highlight who our corresponding sides are in the triangle. Now, I would not put this in the calculator. I wouldn't even do that one, okay, because you're going to get an error. But focus on these two sets as fractions and reduce them. Okay guys, in 9 and 10, you're to figure out again if these two triangles are similar to one another, okay? The biggest thing you need to figure out first is how many degrees are the angles that are left in the shape. All you gotta do, remember, is take 180 and subtract your other two angles to get the third angle. So subtract these two from 180, get the third angle. This is also 42 degrees because of the vertical angles right here. If the angles all match up, like if this guy's 40 and this guy's 50, so it'd be 50, 90, 40, 50, 90, 40, then they're similar. Then you need to write a similarity statement, which, if you go back up, this is a similarity statement. Okay, that's how you would write what the similarity looks like in 9 and 10. Okay, you can skip number 11 and 12. It's the same thing as the other two problems, basically. 13 through 16, we're just finding the value of x, so we're just setting up proportions. So I would say, number 13, to get you started, I'm going to say x over 20 would be equal to, and since I went kind of top over bottom, your other fraction should be kind of top over bottom here. Number 14, I would like to do, if it's me, I'd do x over 16. So for your other fraction, since you went bottom over top, over here, you gotta go bottom over top again with these two numbers. So use that same concept to also do 15 and 16. Just make sure you go the same direction. If you go x over 40, that's fine. Go right over left here, or bottom over top, bottom over top. Left over right, left over right. Moving on, they want you to draw this dilation. Okay, so plot these points first, and then take each of these points and multiply it by the scale factor. Multiply every one of these by 3, every one of these by 1/4 to get the new points. So A prime, what are his coordinates? B prime, what are his coordinates? C prime, what are his coordinates? Okay, and then plot those on the graph and show the new figure. Make sure you label the points as well. And 19, I will give you as bonus. So make sure you tell Mr. Paxton that. That's the end of your test. So make sure you show all of your work. I'd get another piece of paper out to do this. And I wish you a great rest of your day. God bless.